think we're live. I could be wrong.
Doopy doopy doo doo doo.
Right. Let's see here. I need to do a couple things. For anybody that is joining us right now, and I'm not sure, I think we are live. Stream public. Yes, we are live. So, for those of you joining us on our podcast here today, thank you for joining us on one of our first live YouTube podcasts. And we're taking a minute to get into things here, so bear with us just a minute. In the meantime, feel free to like and subscribe to our channel. Share it with anybody you know. Wife, you want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi, wife.
Well,
how are you doing tonight?
I'm hoping that this goes more successfully than it has in the past.
Yes, as am I. Because
maybe we figured our shit out.
We have sucked at live streaming in the past, so
I wouldn't say we sucked. I would say the equipment we had sucked.
Right. Well,
being able to make it all work together.
The services we had sucked.
Yeah.
For those of you who are not familiar with our platform, we are Sacrilegious Discourse, and we are Bible Study by Atheists. So that means that we are reading through the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. And
for the first time.
For our first time, yes.
And never having been raised in religion, either one of us, this has been thus far a true experience.
It really has. Anything that we thought we might revere in the Bible has dissipated quite substantially over the time that we have been reading. We are currently reading Ezekiel. Mm-hmm. We just started it yesterday. Well, right. Today actually. Mm-hmm. They're released today.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That being said, I think. Oh, let's mention a couple of things here. In our show notes for pretty much all of our episodes, I don't think I've got it set up in this one. I need to do better next time. But if you go to any of our other episodes on any podcast or even in YouTube, I think we have links for our website, which is sacrilegious.com. You can
Sacrilegious Discourse.
Sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Thank you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And in there, we'll have links to all of our social media, podcast subscription pages, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So definitely go there. That's a wealth of information to get more in depth with what we're doing here.
Also, we do a live on Discord every Tuesday at 10 p.m. and that's a whole lot of fun. And we actually do that one successfully.
Yeah. We know what we're doing there. So the links for Discord are on our website, again, on the main page, and also in any show notes for any other episode. Mm-hmm. So that being said, are you ready to get started with Ezekiel Chapter 2?
I am ready.
Okay, well, let's do this.
Okie dokie. Are we doing the standard
We're doing the standard intro, yeah.
Okay, okay. Just checking since we haven't done this before.
No. We haven't done this before. I hope everybody out there is giving us forgiving marks for our first time doing this because we suck at this.
Oh, well. All right. It be what it be.
Are you ready, wife?
Yes, husband, I am.
Great. 3.
Husband.
Wife.
Do you know where the hell we are and how the fuck we got here?
Well, we just got done reading Ezekiel Chapter 1, and holy fucking shit. I mean, what even was that crap?
It was a fever dream.
Fucking, there was something in the sky,
like a spaceship
with 4 heads of different animals. There was wheels with eyeballs on it, and within wheels, and lightning, and I think there might have been drugs involved. I'm really not sure what we read because it was crazy. It was fucking crazy.
This guy thinks it's God, so
yeah. Well,
and they called it a prophecy, but I feel like it was more of a vision than a prophecy. And even vision, I think, is doing some heavy lifting there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel like the guy was just off his rocker, but
Mhm.
that's just me.
Well, I think that this chapter we're going to get into is going to be like the follow up, and then God said.
Yeah. Okay.
So
All right.
that's my impression. But
Right.
I haven't read it yet.
Before we go on here, I do want to mention that we are doing this episode live on YouTube for one of our first times ever. We have done some dabbling in this field before, but
Unsuccessfully.
unsuccessfully. I think this one is maybe
Gonna
maybe
stick?
going to be successful.
Is it going to
So
stick?
we'd love for you guys to join us on the next foray into this. Definitely get over to our YouTube channel and subscribe if you haven't already, so you can be informed when these things do go live. Generally, they're probably going to be around 9 or 10 o'clock at night on the weekdays,
Eastern
Standard Time.
Mhm.
So anyway, that was Ezekiel Chapter 1.
Sure as fuck was.
Which means that in our podcast today, we're getting into
Ezekiel Chapter 2.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie.
Okay, and now I don't have anywhere to. It's like I can't pause.
Oh.
I'm informing wife here because this is all new to both of us.
I'm like, what do you mean? We're still recording?
No,
What?
We have to record straight through, and I have to go back and edit this shit later. So this is a whole new experience for us.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like normally we stop and then I wait for you to upload that intro and then
Yeah, no. This is going to require much more editing on my part later.
Okay.
Which,
well, it is kind of perfect because the cat did choose this moment to scratch in the litter box.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is her ritual interrupt our podcast time.
Yeah.
So we're getting that out of the way.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So we can just like yak through and wait till she's done over there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that being said, I hope everyone is having a wonderful night and are excited about what we're about to present here, because so far Ezekiel has been
cray.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really any other word.
No, there really isn't.
I mean, after Jeremiah and Lamentations, like those were so boring and depressing and just like real bummers.
Yeah.
And then we get into this, and I had read the notes ahead of time and was like, oh, this is gonna be wild. And even telling you this, just wait, this is gonna be wild. I can't wait to read this. You still were not prepared.
No, I was definitely not prepared.
I don't know that there's anything that I could have said that would have prepared you.
No, I don't think there was. It was quite shocking to say the least.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right. I think our cat has finished.
Yep, she walked that away.
Great. That is perfect.
I love a good cat shit in the middle of a good Bible reading.
Well, at least she gives it the credit that it is due. So,
yeah. Yeah. She shits on the Bible every night.
I mean, right? Yeah, more or less. All right. Before we get back into this, guys, if you haven't already, even if you're watching this after the fact, like, subscribe, share this with anybody you can. Get the word out about us, and we'd love to get more people here on our channel and participating in this and joining us for these live events. And
feel free to drop a comment if I have fucked shit up. I mispronounce everything. I remember things incorrectly, and I'm basically trash at this. So, criticism welcome. Just be nice.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Oh, and anybody not watching the the comments that I've written into our live stream notes below the thing here, you might, if you're a Monty Python fan, you might pay attention to those a little bit, because
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. Are you ready to go ahead and get into the main bit here?
Yes, I am.
All right. How long is this?
It's short.
It's short. Okay. All right.
Okay, so we are jumping into chapter 2 of Ezekiel.
Okay.
After that crazy chapter 1, are you ready to go?
I am. Yeah, that was nutty, and now I'm ready to see what is going to follow that up, because
dude fell prostrate on his face when he saw all that crazy shit happening in the sky.
As you might if you saw all that happening in the sky, because what he described was crazy.
Yes.
That was I'd be a little bit taken aback too. So
Well, he ended the previous chapter saying something like, and then God spoke, or something like that. Something to that effect.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Now God is getting ready to speak right now.
Yes.
That
And
is right.
I wanted to recap that a little bit because it starts off, he said to me.
Okay.
So like
God
yes.
said to Ezekiel.
Yes.
Yes.
He said to me, "Son of man, stand up on your feet, and I will speak to you." Okay. Whoa.
All right.
As he spoke, the Spirit came into me and raised me to my feet, and I heard him speaking to me.
Oh, okay.
From inside my ears.
So now God is embodying Ezekiel.
He's literally up in him.
Okay.
Okay.
And he was down on the ground.
Ezekiel
and now
was.
God had brought him to his feet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which is interesting because in the last chapter, Ezekiel was like, I saw the face and it was cray.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you were laying face down. How did you see it? Did you see it before you went face down?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
That's just me being persnickety there.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
So
right.
All right. He said, "Son of man, I am sending you to the Israelites, to a rebellious nation that has rebelled against me, as rebels do."
Yeah. Wasn't he already with the Israelites? Like he was part of in the exile type deal?
Yeah, but he's saying that he's going to send him hither and yon. He wants Ezekiel to deliver this message to all of the Israelites that are in captivity, as well as all of the Israelites that have been scattered to the winds.
Got it.
Okay. Like there's some that are in Egypt, there's some that are still in Jerusalem, like the dregs, of society are still down there.
Yep.
So he's saying, go forth and say my message.
Okay. Yeah.
They and their ancestors have been in revolt against me to this very day. Because you're revolting. that was a wifeism.
I think revolt is a strong word, though. They were revolting in the sense that they were worshiping other gods that worshiping other gods is even like a little bit too strong, I feel like.
Yeah, I think you're right. Revolting is the wrong verb. That would indicate that they actually gave a shit.
Right.
I don't think they did.
No, they're like, whatever God can give me whatever, I'm gonna worship at it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask it to give me the things that I need. I need rain, I need crops, I need, not to die from somebody attacking me.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, God is just doing the bad shit to me. So I'm just gonna worship something else because
so and so said that if I pray to this God over here, that brings the rain. So why not give that a try?
Right?
Yeah. Like I think that revolt is the wrong word there.
I agree.
You're right.
I agree.
The people to whom, this is God speaking still, the people to whom I am sending you are obstinate and stubborn. I will give him that. They are. They are obstinate and stubborn.
Again, I'm gonna push back a little bit there.
Okay.
Because when we've discussed it in the past,
mm-hmm.
we've mentioned that they don't even really feel like they care that much, right? Like they aren't that affected by this God because they have all these other gods. There's lots of shit going on in their lives.
They clearly don't have a lot of fear of this guy.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah.
They don't seem to fear this God with the amount of fear that he wants them to fear him with.
And he keeps saying, "Fear me," and they're like, "Meh."
Right? Yeah, they're like, well.
I mean, you're just as scary as any other, which ain't much.
Sure.
Say to them, this is God again. Say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Say to them, I says.
Yeah.
And whether they listen or fail to listen, for they are a rebellious people, they will know that a prophet has been among them. So that means that he's saying whatever the reception is, don't worry about that. That's not the main point here. The main point is that whatever their reaction is, you are delivering this message so that they can't say later that they weren't told.
Okay. I get that, but this is the problem I have with this, and he's saying that they will know that the Lord sent him, right?
Mm-hmm.
How?
Yeah, we talked about this with Jeremiah as well. There's all kinds of false prophets running around, and if you're living during that time, how the fuck are you supposed to tell one from the other? They both look like dudes living down the street from you.
Right.
Like, yeah, I don't get it. I literally don't get it.
I don't either. It doesn't make a lot of sense because you're supposed to believe this one guy who is one amongst many, as you said,
Mm-hmm.
who may or may not be telling you the truth because there's other people saying different things.
And there's lots of politics happening too. Like with Jeremiah, we suspected that he was probably a double agent for Babylon.
Right.
So, I mean, how's a normal person supposed to know who's really speaking for God, who doesn't have politics in their back pocket, who is actually telling me? So I think that these people are being unfairly judged, pretending for a minute that there even is a God judging them.
Sure. And it could be easily solved if God would just come down and speak to the people.
The people instead of persons.
Right. He could solve this whole thing and like prove his existence, and there wouldn't be any question anymore.
Right.
You know, like he always has to talk through these
This
prophets.
This one person secluded, no witnesses.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
that's not suspicious.
Who's apparently having a fever dream. You know,
Right.
like and this isn't just exclusive to Ezekiel, really.
Right.
Like Moses, you could say the same thing. Like the shit that Moses did up on the mountain.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That was nuts.
It really was.
And
yep.
I don't take a lot of stock in the message here because you're having to believe one person.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and this one person isn't any more believable than any of the other dudes running around town.
Definitely.
And you, son of man, God continues, do not be afraid of them or their words. Okay, I'm going to push back. I know I keep pausing in between every sentence, but I want to push back on that because Jeremiah got thrown into a goddamn pit.
Right.
And was beat.
He almost got killed.
Prior to that, he was stuck in a torture device in those stocks. So I'm sorry, you can be maybe a little bit afraid of them in their words. Maybe, okay, still go deliver the message, but I think it's perfectly natural to have a little bit of fear of these fucks.
Right.
You know, they weren't exactly peaceful and loving.
And to be fair, I mean, when we did research into this, there's a good chance that Ezekiel got killed by Israelites.
You mean
I'm sorry,
Jeremiah?
Jeremiah.
Mm-hmm.
Got killed by Israelites.
Stoned.
Right.
Stoned to death.
So like,
in Egypt.
God kept telling Jeremiah that he was going to have his back.
Yeah.
And that he was going to protect him and he just needed to go out there and speak the word. But then, according to many accounts, Jeremiah died in the desert running away from Babylon towards Egypt when they thought he was a double agent and they stoned him to death.
Yeah.
Like that is an actual one of the very highly thought possibilities, very plausible things that could have happened to Jeremiah. And I'm like, so God didn't protect him. God fucked him over.
Yeah.
Even though he was God's servant, according to the Bible.
Right.
According to Jeremiah.
Yeah. So, and Baruch and all the other dudes that took up the writing in his stead.
Yes. So again, Ezekiel has a good reason to be
that
question
happened,
this, in my opinion.
That happened after his time, I believe, or after this moment.
Yes.
So he wouldn't know that, but I'm here to say, having read this, it's okay if you're afraid, dude.
Right.
You know, I'm here to be that voice of reason.
Sure.
Don't believe God. It's okay if you're scared. Do not be afraid, though briars and thorns are all around you and you live among scorpions. I would be afraid. Sorry.
Right.
Do not be afraid of what they say or be terrified by them, though they are a rebellious people. I mean, I just think that's a terrible message. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say don't be afraid. I would say, hold firm to your message or be brave in spite of all the hardships you're going to endure in the coming days.
Sure.
Like, that would make better sense than even when they're like threatening your life and torturing you. Don't be afraid. Like, what? That's not something you can help, though.
No.
Like, bravery is not a lack of fear. Bravery is being scared and still doing the thing.
Yeah, totally.
So this is dumb. The whole message is dumb.
Yeah.
You must speak my words to them, continues God.
Right.
Whether they listen or fail to listen, for they are rebellious. Boy,
he likes that word in this chapter.
Yeah, he keeps repeating that.
They are very rebellious, apparently.
Are they rebellious? Did they rebel?
I think they rebelled.
They might be rebels.
Yep, they're pretty rebellious, those guys.
But you, son of man, listen to what I say to you. Do not rebel like that rebellious people.
Oh my God, this word.
Yeah.
Fuck.
If I wasn't sick of it,
they needed to pull out a goddamn thesaurus here.
Yes, they do. Open your mouth and eat what I give you. I mean, no thank you.
If someone asks you to open your mouth and eat what they give you, don't fucking do it unless you really want to.
You say
But
no.
don't do it.
Yeah, when you walk into a room and there's a little table and there's a little cake that says eat me and a little bottle that says drink me, we've all seen that story. We've all read that book. We know what's going to happen. Don't do it.
Right. Yeah.
Then I looked and I saw a hand stretched out to me. In it was a scroll which he unrolled before me. On both sides of it were written words of lament and mourning and woe.
Oh.
Low, whoa,
Low,
whoa.
whoa.
Lots of woe.
Yeah.
Woe unto them. The end.
So God is now handing Ezekiel a scroll?
It's a magic scroll. What? So, okay, I have a few notes. Let's see if I can add anything to clear up what's happening.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as we know, Ezekiel was commanded and enabled to stand to
Right. God
receive that
embodied
message.
Ezekiel and made him stand. Sure.
And then Ezekiel, having been overwhelmed with the glorious vision in the previous chapter,
That was a
1,
glorious vision? That was a fucking terrifying vision.
Yeah,
what it was.
I totally agree with you. He's now strengthened and comforted because God is in him.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
God's like, they're there, baby.
I guess it's all in how you view what you're seeing, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So then Ezekiel is commissioned to declare to that rebellious house of Israel the terrible judgments that would very shortly be coming upon the whole land. And if they failed to repent, this is what is going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me stop you for just a second. Isn't Ezekiel, we went over some of this the last chapter, I think, but isn't Ezekiel down in Babylon with the exiles that went there earlier on?
Yes. He was in the second wave of those scooped up by Babylon.
So he's assuming that they can still fix what's like this is him pitching his story.
Yes.
Trying to say we can still fix what's coming down the pike here.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
From afar. Yeah. But this is the message.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm just trying to check here.
Nope, you got it.
Time frames and all that kind of shit is all fucked up.
And that's why I put that time frame together in the last chapter, because I was like, hang on. When was this?
Yeah.
I was so confused. Right. So yes, you have the right of it.
Okay. All right.
So with a gracious assurance to Ezekiel that God would be constantly with him while executing the difficult duties of his office, he gives him these words.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'll be there with you. Don't be afraid. And I'm like, dude, be afraid.
Be afraid.
Yeah. So I don't know if you noticed, but several times he called him son of man. And that is a new phrase. We haven't come across that before.
Okay.
In the Bible.
All right.
And it basically comes to, he's calling him mere human.
Sure.
So he's like, you mere, like basically he's like, ya worm, ya mountain,
okay.
Callbacks to things that, he's called them before. And then when he says, I also wanted to say son of man. I don't know if you recall, but that's a phrase that is used in the Chronicles of Narnia. Oh. Aslan refers to the children as son of man and daughter of Eve.
Got it. So, it's so much nicer there, though.
It is. But it's still kind of...
Sure. No, it's an underhanded way of saying you are beneath me.
Yes.
And low.
Yes.
So
exactly. Right. Mere human. Anytime you call anybody mere anything,
right?
Like you're basically calling them small, worthless, and trash.
Now, I suppose we're supposed to take it in the sense that God is so much higher, right? And therefore everything to him is
mere,
low, and mere.
But I'm like, no. I'm sorry. I don't respect you just because you have, a doctor coat on or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Earn it. Yeah. Sorry.
No, I agree.
So at this time, the quote unquote children of Israel, as he has called them, they still had something of a kingdom in Judah and a temple in Jerusalem. So to go with, the timeline that you were presenting, those things had not been completely knocked over yet.
Got it.
Okay. So even so, many of them were scattered by the forced exiles under the Assyrians and the Babylonians. So don't forget the Assyrians had come in and done a little bit of damage too.
Right.
Before Babylon kicked their ass.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of upheaval going on in that region in general during this time frame. And because the Israelites were occupied by Egypt before Assyria and then Babylon, and like there was just all kinds of shit going on.
Yeah, so Israel was just this little small thing, just looking back and forth like a tennis match between these three giant parties going, okay.
Right, yeah.
Could I just live?
Yeah.
And they were like, no.
It's just, and that's the part that bothers me. Sorry, guys. That these guys were taking all this in. It was just politics. It was the upheaval that was going on in that area at the time.
It was just a land grab, and it was just politics.
Right, and they're attributing a lot of God shit to all this.
Right. There was nothing holy about wanting to own all that land.
Right. It was just the way things were. People were conquering this group, and they were conquering the other groups, and that's how things were going.
They were fighting for resources. The end.
Yeah.
Right. So many of them were scattered. Blah 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 blah. And so, like I was telling you, God was saying to Ezekiel that the word was for all of them, regardless of where they live.
Got it.
So. Yeah. Okay, so then we go on, and Ezekiel is warned that he might suffer cruel treatment at the hands of his countrymen, which I was like,
for good reason, probably.
Pretty sure you will, my guy.
Based on history, yes.
But God is telling him, you still got to persevere, though, bro.
Sure.
But that's not the message I took. Like, that's the note of the apologist, is saying that he was told he must persevere no matter what. I will find you. And I'm like, no, what he said was, don't be afraid. Keep going. Don't be afraid.
Right.
That's not the same thing.
No, yeah. No, not at all.
It's not.
Because he said somewhat, like you could say the same thing early on in Jeremiah, that he was telling him to persevere and that he had his back. But ultimately, God did not have Jeremiah's back.
Exactly.
It was very much not that result at the end of it all.
Right, so. Exactly. So whether they heeded his words or not, the people, the Israelites, it was still Ezekiel's duty to deliver that message. And he's also commanded to be fearless, resolute, and faithful in the discharge of his duties.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, Ezekiel was not to share the stubborn attitude of the people. And I'm just like, no shit, really? Like, of course. I mean, you're giving him this message. Of course he's not supposed to feel the same way as the people.
Right.
He would be the messenger of very unpleasant tidings, like don't shoot the messenger kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that will by its nature expose him to great persecution, just like Jeremiah.
Sure.
And he had to eat the scroll containing God's message.
Wait, what?
That's what actually, when he said, eat my words.
Oh.
That's why I said it's a magic scroll.
Oh.
He's telling him, eat it.
Well, hold on.
So that the word of God is literally inside him.
That is interesting because, okay, I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent.
I'm going to follow you because I think I know where you're going.
There is a legend, a Jewish legend about golems, where they eat a scroll, and then they are a protector
that brings them to life.
Yeah, that brings them to life, and then they are to do the bidding of whatever that person, their master, is to have them do, basically, right? Like I'm probably not getting that 100% correct.
No, but you have the general of it.
Essentially, that's the gist of it, and that is I'm very, very interested in the connection here between golems and this verse about Ezekiel.
Yeah,
is Ezekiel a fucking golem?
He might be. I don't know.
That is really, really
worth looking into. Yeah. So he had to eat the scroll containing God's message, thereby signifying that he made God's message his own before giving it to others.
Got it.
Okay. And so, like I said, he would have the word of God literally within him. Now, I saw some apologists that were like, no, it wasn't literal. He didn't really have to eat a scroll. It was symbolic. It was a symbolic scroll, symbolic words, a symbolic eating, as we all should always eat the word of the Bible and be ravenous and hungry for the word of God within us. And I'm like,
okay. I mean,
that's fine. So then we don't have to take every word literally, bro. Because,
right.
Pick a team, pick a side, pick a lane.
Yeah.
Where are we going with this?
Right.
So that pretty much wraps up chapter 2, unless you had anything else to add.
No, I do not. I just wanted to mention that our cat has been an asshole here right at the end of our podcast.
Yeah, you've been chasing her around.
She has been quite rambunctious and causing me all kinds of hell. So,
but we persevered.
We
did not let the voices of the country bring us to their rebellious ways.
Right.
We were brave in the face of this bad cat.
So all I'm going to say is that I am very interested in following up with some of this information about the golems and the eating of the words. That's intriguing to me, and I'm assuming we'll get into that in a Q&A at some point, probably.
I will see if I can find anything that even mentions that, and
we'll try to get into it because we want to.
Because we want to, yeah. That would be a Q&A Saturday,
right?
Not today, which is Tuesday.
Yeah, that'll be a deep dive for sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was Ezekiel Chapter 2.
Sure as fuck was.
Which means that we'll be back tomorrow, but this one we will not be doing a live on YouTube because tomorrow is Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And well, the episode will release on Wednesday, but we record it on Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be doing our regular Discord episode for that day.
And that will be Ezekiel Chapter 3.
Yep. And we'll see you guys then.
Bye.
All right. So that was
a mess.
Jesus, our cat was being a
little cunt burger. What the fuck, Dagny? Get your life together. What are you doing?
So, just for those of you who are here with us on this live, just to go over this with you, our cat has a regular interrupt our podcast routine where she uses the litter box. This time, twice actually.
Yeah, and we've tried to wait her out like we did this time.
Yeah,
and she will go back.
Not successfully. Yeah,
and she scratches for like 10 minutes.
It's ridiculous.
I'm like, it's buried. Stop.
Right. No, when she's not even using the restroom. She's just doing it to fucking piss us off. I think.
Probably
get our attention or something. She can't stand that we're not paying attention to her. Apparently.
I think it's because we're talking excitedly and loud, and she does tend to get worked up. Like if we're arguing and we raise our voices, usually she attacks me
and
because she's a daddy's girl.
A little bit like that. But then she tries to get into a cabinet, and I have to open one up so that she doesn't try harder to do something else there. And then she comes over and meows by us and starts scratching at a box.
My God.
Oh.
What are you? Are you the Israelites? I think you are. You're a bad kitten.
Anyway, that was
I love you.
That was a fun episode.
That was.
I mean, Ezekiel's kind of been fun.
Yeah.
A little bit here right off the bat.
I don't want to say too much because what if, we always get our hearts.
Yeah.
We get our hopes up thinking this will be fun. This will be a good one. And then like 5 episodes in, we're like, never mind, it sucks like all the rest.
Well, that's true because they tend to get repetitive because they're written by a regular author. So it's hard to judge right off the bat. Like we're reading something new and seeing how it goes.
So. And new is cool.
But this one's got a lot of stuff to comment on and a lot of crazy shit happening. So I'm really enjoying what we're reading so far.
Insofar as it's the Bible and insofar as we're atheists and don't believe in God.
Yeah. So
caveat.
Just to mention this one more time before we slide on out of our live here. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you can catch these in the future. And if you haven't shared this with your friends, what the fuck are you doing? Go share it now. And
I mean, unless your friends, are crazy Christians.
I mean, they could maybe benefit from this too. This is with a caveat.
I'm just saying,
a really large caveat.
I'm just saying, like, I have some friends I would share it with, and some friends I would not.
No, for sure. I mean,
make the safe, wise choice, friends.
Right, for sure. But we hope you enjoyed this live presentation. And we hope you will come back for more. We'll probably be doing another live sometime this week. We may not do this for every episode, but
more often now that we seem to have gotten it to work.
Yeah, if this is, I mean, I got to download this and edit this still, but if this worked out well, we will probably be doing this fairly often. So thank you all for joining us on one of our maybe first successful live streams. And we
come join us on Discord. And
yes.
Tuesdays at 10.
Our Discord is an amazing community. If you guys aren't there already, please look it up and join us there because we have such a blast. And
they're so fun. There's like a regular crowd, and they are just very welcoming and open. I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing over there. They always have to talk me in how to get into the fucking stage or room or what the fuck ever it is.
Yeah.
So they're just very warm, helpful, friendly.
But yeah, if you're looking for a good atheist community, I mean, it's a small one right now, but it is my favorite place to be.
It really
with
is.
regard to any social media community that we are involved in, our Discord channel is my favorite.
Me too.
And I have a blast over there, and I love talking with everybody that's over there, and we want more people to join because we have such a great time talking about things. So,
and it doesn't always stick to atheism sometimes, or even just the chapter that we just read.
We were talking about Samsung washers the other day, so I mean,
were we?
I was.
I don't recall
with one of our people on there, Fern. So
we often talk about movies and books.
Yeah,
that's more me than you.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, thank you everybody for joining us here tonight. And if you watch this after tonight, thank you for picking up and listening to this. And we will see you the next time we do this. So
yep.
Bye.
Bye.